All right, we get lots of questions when it comes to Ask the Expert, especially when Ottawa Physiotherapy and Sport Clinic are here, because people want to know what the heck is going on with what ails them. And we have a question via email, Nick, that I'm sure you can help somebody out with. And it has a little something to do with tennis elbow. Can we see that, please? I'm in pain with tennis elbow. How can you help? I'm wearing a brace, but with little relief. What is tennis elbow, first of all? Is that tendonitis?
Pretty much. So you have this basically bone right at the tip of the elbow where all your tendons attach that actually extend your wrist. Right. So it's a pretty typical condition, especially in Ottawa, again, with the mousing and all that.
Right.
But basically, elbows are
not
quite...
from tennis at all.
I think I've seen one in 4 years of working that was actually from tennis.
Okay.
The tricky thing with tennis elbow is that typically it's not just one little thing that will aggravate it. Okay, so basically you can't just treat a tennis elbow by looking strictly at the elbow. Most tennis elbows that we see in the clinic, Janet, typically have also an origin coming from the neck. So I don't know if your neck has anything like bothering you up there.
Yeah.
But you'll see a lot of people, they come in initially and their elbow is hurting, but then you take a look at their range of motion in the neck, and they're bending perfectly fine one way, and then they can't go at all into the side that's hurting them.
Really?
Right. So there's a lot of input coming up from the nerves from higher up that go into the arm. And usually once something goes down in the chain, it's easier to hurt anything further down the chain. So for me to say, typically, you just treat the elbow aggressively with some stretching and some strengthening exercise.
Not so necessary.
It's not for everybody. So you have to be really careful the way you approach it.
See a physiotherapist is what you're saying.
Basically.
Yeah, that helps. Okay, one thing we wanted to make sure we touch on was we talked about the different shoes that are available for running. Now you're a runner.
Yep.
And you've become a minimalist, right?
Absolutely.
You're using something along those lines, and you've had great results, as do many people, correct?
Yeah, and clinically we see amazing results. Now the big thing, like I was telling you on break, that we have to be careful with is progressing very slowly.
Right.
Especially if you're somebody who's been walking in a support shoe all your life, who wears orthotics, for example. It's going to take a while to go from this to something more minimalist. All right.
Okay.
So I'm talking about, just to be specific, if you've never done anything like that, okay, if you walk with like even a flip-flop in your house, I'm talking about 30 seconds a day for your run. You come back, you change into your old shoes, and you finish your run. Okay. If your first week,
short a time.
That's short a time. Okay. After that, I would probably add about 2 minutes per week. So that means your first, let's say you run 5 days a week. Monday you go out, 2 minutes, come back, finish your run. Tuesday, 2 minutes, finish your run. Every week after, to play it safe, if you will, you're adding about 2 minutes to that run. So week 2, you're doing 4 minutes, and then you come back.
So let's say you're doing a 45-minute run. The last 2 minutes you should do.
I'd start with your 2 minutes first.
First
2 minutes.
Two? Okay.
Yeah, and basically.
Not last.
Nope. And so basically it takes weeks, if not months, to build up. Let's say you're doing a half marathon. It takes a long time to build up into doing something that's strictly minimalist.
Right.
Now, a good population to start into something like this is somebody who's never ran before, because that you haven't developed bad running habits. With a big shoe like this, you tend to try to strike your heel first.
Right.
It's so big. I mean, it's hard not to strike
your body hasn't gotten those.
Yeah. So if I got you, for example, Kurt, to run right now outside, barefoot, I guarantee you wouldn't be touching the ball of your heel right on the ground, because it's painful.
You'd also be performing, by getting me to run, performing a large miracle. But you're right. If you develop your style, your running style with the minimalist shoe to begin with.
Yeah, and naturally, I mean, as human beings, we're made to run, right? Evolution, the way we're made out. If you look at somebody running in the Amazon, for example, they're not striking heel to toe. They're going strictly mid-foot to forefoot, right? Which is what we look for in a runner. So basically, something like this will promote that good technique. But again,
not this.
No, you don't want to be landing on your heel in front of your hip. You want to be landing right underneath your hip on your forefoot. Right? So there's a big science to it.
The mid to front part of your foot.
Mid to foot, forefoot strike. So that puts a lot more stress on the Achilles tendon, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's
it's a different way to run. There's
absolutely.
No question.
But it's very important that you go about it progressively, because then you'll be in a heap of trouble.
Nick, we're out of time, man.
Yep.
But some good advice, and if people have questions about this and that progression, I'm sure you can help them, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can give us a call, send us emails.
Yeah.
We're there to help.
3 different locations for Ottawa Physiotherapy and Sport Clinic, as you can see in Barrhaven, Westboro, and Orleans. Give them a call and have a chat with someone, make an appointment, and go in and talk about your options. Be it an injury, be it something you're dealing with injury-wise, or some questions you might have about the proper footwear and posture when it comes to running. Nick, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Kurt.
Appreciate it.